Happy New Year, guys! Welcome back to this amazing channel. My name is Janestar Mugure. If you're new here, please subscribe. We share stories because the channel is all about being our best selves in whatever capacity God has put us in, and that includes owning our bad and the good stories. So today I want to share one of my life stories. I think I'll call it Documenting My Life. The story is about my high school journey. I have to say I joined high school in 2008. I was 12 and a half years. My birthday is normally in June and you join school in January. So I became a teenage when I was already in high school. It's my teenage journey because I spent 4 years in high school. And today we get to know how it went down, because teenagehood is where you experience a complete change of life. You become a naughty person, you became a good person. There's a lot that changes in your life. You start maturing. Yeah, so let's see how it's gonna be. Stay tuned. It's very fun. It's enjoyable. You will definitely like it. I finished primary school back in 2007. I went to a primary school called Movie Academy, and I was really expecting to go to a national school. I hoped I'd go to Karema Girls in Nyahururu. But unfortunately, I don't know what happens in KCPE. You get a shock. So I didn't manage to get the 400 marks I would have wanted. But I was close to that. I was position number 3 in that school. And my head teacher was definitely so happy about it. We had post-elections in 2007 and early 2008. So my letter delayed being dropped. Those days it was post offices. Letters were coming through the post office. So it came and it was sent to my dad's post office. And when he picked it, I was Kizungu inakata. I was invited or was admitted. I don't know. Nilipewa barua ya Chinga Girls High School. Let me stop English. English is not English here. So nilikuwa nimeitwa Chinga Girls High School. It's in Nyeri. Then my parents were like, will you really go to a school that is far distance from our home? And you see, we are currently experiencing political violence in the country. So it would be dangerous. And they wanted me to go to a day school near our home, where it felt more safe other than going to another county where I completely didn't know anybody and we were not sure of how long the post-election violence would take. My brother, anaitwa Gabriel, he's a good friend of mine. He was in Form 4 then and he was schooling at Daragwa in a school called Holy Family. So as much as we had post-election, he still opened school and he told me usikubali kwenda day school. Utakuwa unasoma tu hapa, life yako itaikuwa tu ni hapa, umesomea primary, umesomea high school. Then you see you've performed well, and these schools in the village, mostly people who go there are people who have not performed well. So don't accept to take that offer that my parents are offering you. Just go to the boarding school. In any case, if the post-election persists, then school might go on hold until the country is at peace. So that's how it went down. I completely refused to go to a day school, and I had now to start the process of buying stuff for the boarding school. Chinga Girls High School was a completely new name. Nobody had heard of it. It had not been in the news or in the newspaper. It was just a new name. So we even had to do a pre-survey before I went there. It's in Othaya, Mali Kibaki ametoka. And so I was supposed to buy stuff that would be required as per the letter. Things like a box. Nowadays I see people buying suitcases. Those days we were using boxes, metallic boxes. And you buy a mattress, you buy socks, you buy bed sheets, bed covers. Then they were of specific colors. Like in our school, I was supposed to buy blue or green. You buy a mattress cover, you buy a bed sheets, bed covers, toweling cover. All of them were supposed to be in blue. Then I was supposed to buy a bucket. I didn't have a bus by the time I was joining for one. It was so small. Nilikuwa na boob top. So we bought some pads, we bought some few bras. And remember, we are doing this with my father. So it was a little bit weird. Tunaenda supermarket na yeye ananiambia, and this, a boutique, what is this? So he doesn't want to directly tell me hizi ni pads unafaa uchukue. So ilikuwa a small embarrassing moment, but either way we did it. And the last shopping we did with my sister. And after the pre-visit, I was now ready to report. I think I reported in early February. Nilichelewa sana kuingia cause bado tulikuwa tunawe. Do you go to that far place or we look for a school ni in Nakuru County? Ama uende 2-day school, then vitu zikitulia in the country, you go to that school yenye umeitwa. The DJ was finally here, and my sister was supposed to take me to school. She was residing in Nyahururu, and when you are in Nakuru, that is where you pass on your way to Nyeri. So it was easier for her to take me. Then after reporting, she will just go back to her house. So my parents didn't go. Yeye ndo alinipeleka shule. So tukafika, we go through the onboarding process. You're given new uniform, you're given new tracksuit, 2 skirts. They were green skirts, murefu. Zilikuwa ndefu, hata waist ni kubwa. Then unapewa sweater 2, sleeveless moja, sweater t-shirt moja ya PE, na inaitwa aje? Hiyo kitu ilikuwa inaitwa aje? Kitu kama ni shawl ya kujifunga mkicheza. Honestly sikumbuki jina yake, but I can remember it. Ilikuwa ni green na stripes za white huku mwisho. Then t-shirts zilikuwa Rebel Chinga Girls High School. The sweaters were green, then a stripe ya white huku hapa na hapa mwisho. Then zilikuwa na logo ya Chinga Girls High School. So nikapewa that full set ya uniform. Sitaki kuambia ati ziliibiwa zote. By the time naenda midterm nilikuwa nimebaki na skirt moja yenye hata haiwezi oshwa. Once you complete everything and the parents leave, you are assigned someone who maybe people in form 2 or form 3, people who reside in the same dormitory as you. Walikuwa wanaitwa masters ama matrons. Kumbuki jina vizuri. It's been more than a decade ago, so I may not have all the details. So the radio I was given was called Lea Mugo. Lea Mugo ndo alinipeleka dormitory. Nikapelekwa hall. Ilikuwa inaitwa Menengai. It was known to be the most dirty dormitory in the entire school. It had 10 dormitories. Then some dormitories had cubicles of 4 people. But Menengai and Kilimanjaro were halls. Uko ndio mafresha wengi walikuwa wanapelekwa. It's a stream and the beds were double deckers. Sasa ilikuwa weird that my bedmate mwenye analala chini alikuwa anasusu bed. Na ako form 2. So nilikuwa naona life ikiwa strange before you adapt. Johnny, we went to eat githeri. Then you served with water. You go put your coffee and sugar or just drink it. And so life started there. I was assigned 1X. Chinga Girls had 4 streams. 4 streams, like 1W, X, Y, and Z. So there was 1W, 1X, 1Y, 1Z. Unaekwa randomly in the class. So mimi nilikuwa 1X. Then classes used to start at 5. 5 uko class. Asubuhi 5. So the next day ni unaoga na maji baridi. Watu wengine hata hawaingii kwa bafu, wanaogea tu huko kwa stream. Sikuwa nimezoea hivyo. I had not gone to a boarding school before. Day school pale nilikuwa naogea home kwa bafu. Sasa hapo umekuja watu ni wengi kukiu kwa bafu, watu wengine wanaogea nje, mnavaa nguo tu kwa hall. Hakuna privacy hata kidogo. But slowly by slowly I started getting used to it. And without wasting time, the first day we were supposed to be in class. So you meet people from all kinds of corners. Wengine wametoka Nairobi, wengine Nakuru, wengine wametoka Mombasa. You are all strangers, and you now need to form new friendships. You need to know about monolization. Yeah, so that was it. I was assigned Lois Wanja as my deskmate, and eventually I had Rosemary. Rosemary is still my friend on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram. Though we've not met since the day we finished high school, I still remember her so clearly, and we connect on social media. So days went by. It didn't take so long. I went in early February, and was supposed to go for midterm in that end of February. So I stayed for like 2 weeks, then took a break for midterm. So when we were breaking for midterm, I didn't have 1 sweater. I didn't have 1 skirt, na nilikuwa nimebaki tu na socks pair 2. Out of socks pair ngapi? Pair 5. So Sasa sini ukaslimishe the long skirt. The skirt was extremely long. Ile hata mkifika Nyeri town, kila mtu anaweza sema huyu ni fresher. So the sweaters were marked, the t-shirts, alafu nikabaiwa skirt ingine ya shule. Na zote zikareboliwa na index number ndo zisikuje kuibiwa. I think juu ya kwenda ma-outs, Form 2, Form 3 and Form 4 really liked stealing people's uniform. And I remember at one point, sasa nimenunuliwa another skirt midterm. By the time tunafunga shule, ile yenye nilipewa, imeshaibiwa. Na imagine ilikuwa marked. So what would I do? Na singeenda tena home kubaiwa. Sasa hata mimi nikaenda kwa hanging line. Nikachukua skirt ya mtu. Hiyo ndio nilienda nayo nyumbani juu sasa nitafanya nini? Kwani nitashinda na skirt moja ikiwa chafu. And mine, now I have 3 skirts which have been stolen. Everything to do with stationery was offered in school. The books, the diaries, the textbooks. The only thing you would buy ni kalamu peke yake. And we used to put money in the bazaar's place. So ukitoka midterm, ukipewa pocket money, ukitaka kuongelesha mzazi ya kulipie extra pocket money, unaenda through bazaar. So siku ya kufunga, buses used to come to the school compound. We used to leave school by 6 a.m. So there are matatus for Nyahururu, matatus for Nairobi, matatus for Nakuru. We had matatus for different stations coming to pick students in school. And it was a criminal offense to be found in Othaya town by 7 a.m. So you leave and you pay your fare. Then me, I was going to Nakuru. We rarely had matatus directly going to Nakuru because most people were just from Nyeri County. So I would take the one dropping me to Nyeri. Then after Nyeri, I pick another one to Nakuru. Or I take the one that is going to drop me at Nyahururu. Then I can proceed to Nakuru. So once you stopped in Nyeri, we would go buying kebabs, chips, buying clothes, and just loitering around and meeting people from other schools. Then we connect before we go home. And the minute you're released from school, the classmates had to call your parents. And they are told, students have been released, expect them maybe at 2 p.m. So by the time I come home at 4, my dad already knows you left school at 6. So where have you been? You were supposed to be here by 1 p.m. latest. And I always found excuses. At times I would say I passed via my sister's place, that's why I'm late. Or even sometimes I go sleep there, then I come home next day. Or over the midterm, I just stay there the entire period. And my dad will just send me pocket money because he used to pay school fees on the day we are opening. Over holidays, we would be given a lot of homework. There were even topics we were supposed to learn by ourselves. And the day you report, you submit the homework. Then whatever you studied is going to contribute to 70% of the opener exams. So I really didn't have the luxury of loitering around over the holidays. I would just stay at home, read, do my homework, and maybe get homework from my other friends who had gone to different boarding schools. Because me na ni chopi, and my parents liked it when I just stay at home and study. I never used to work during holidays. They would just allow me to do my homework and to study. On some other holidays, they would pay for me tuition. I'd go do my part-time studies at Nudori High School. Then I would interact with people there. And when it comes to opening school, I'd call my brother, I call my sisters, they send me money. So by the time I'm reporting to school, I have like 3,000 pocket money. Then at Chinga Girls, we only had cakes at the canteen. I remember the guy who used to sell us cakes was called Mr. Moreu. And once in a while, he would bring us gumus. But getting yourself to buy those cakes as much you have money was a hassle. People used to fight, queues. It was so messy. So me, I used to get so bored and I wouldn't want to go queuing there. I waited for people to buy. Then once they buy, they come and sell me maybe 2 cakes or 1. Alafu naikula. Ama saa zingine because ile kamkate ya breakfast was so small, you buy a cake for breakfast ama for tea time. But rarely would I go to the canteen. At times I would even put all my pocket money at the bazaar and I use it when going home for midterm. Maybe I do shopping. I wish ni sasa sahi venye I financially struggle and there's a time money had nothing to do. and I did nothing with it. I didn't even enjoy those good days. I will surely miss them. Let's talk about food. On a daily basis, you had to eat cabbage and beans, either in ugali or in githeri. Breakfast, the school had a bakery. They would bake bread. Sometimes they give us cakes. So in the morning, you take tea and a snack. Then tea time, you just take plain tea. Then over lunch hour, all the days except Wednesday, we would take githeri. Githeri is maize, beans, cabbage, and if you're lucky, you get one potato. And on Wednesdays, we would take rice, beans, and cabbage. Then Tuesdays and Thursdays, we would take ugali. Ugali with cabbage on Tuesday, and ugali with skuma wiki on Thursday. Then a piece of meat on Thursday. Then other days, like Monday, you eat githeri over lunchtime and over supper. I've never hated githeri, by the way. Na vile nilikula kama kuku pale high school. Whoops. Anyway, it used to be substituted by cakes. And I have to say that Chinga girls didn't have monolization. Food was in plenty. We used to serve ourselves. Muna serve watu wawili kwa desk. Then muna tables. Like if it's 1W, we have 2 tables, 1X. Ivo. So mnajuana. Nobody is going to harass you when it comes to food serving. Once you eat, it was normally from 1 to 1:30. The people who were serving food are still the people to wipe the table. Then we had a very no-nonsense caretaker. So you have to eat very fast if it's your day to serve and wipe the table. You also wipe the floor so that by 1:30 p.m. you're already in class. So funny enough, I would eat and get time to go to church and pray. Like we've left class at 1, we eat up to 1:30 and I'll get some few minutes to go pray and thank God. I used to be so spiritual then. I hope I can still be now. Yeah. We had to wash our plates and our cups. Cups really used to be stolen. You would find you put your cup in one row, the next minute you find it in another row because someone stole it. And shamelessly they will go wash and come put it in the rack because you can't carry your cup to the classroom and you don't carry plates and cups to the dormitory. And for plates, they were always safe. Rarely would people steal plates. And even if they were stolen, you would go to the kitchen and borrow, you use. Well, let's talk about co-curricular activities. Every day from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. it was games time. You're supposed to be in the field. And if you don't go to the field, you're just littering. For me, I used to be a bookworm. I used to feel like, hey, that whole 1 hour is a waste of time. So we had formed group discussions for the choppies. And instead of going to play, we would just stay in class and study. I regret that because I missed out on a lot of opportunities. That's when I would have learned how to play basketball. I would have learned how to play hockey. But now, I felt like it was a waste of time and I knew I had gone there to study. I wanted to get my A. Little did I know that what you get in Form 1, Form 2, Form 3 doesn't matter. Start studying in Form 4 because the only grade that is going to matter is your KCSE. And you can be a joker all along, a non-performer, then you start putting your shit together where in your last year because that is what is going to count. That is how it will determine your future. What you get in Form 1 is nothing. And so I missed out on a lot. We had football. The school had a big field. We had all equipments. We even had table tennis. I only didn't have interest. And also coming from a private school where going to the field looked like waste of time. We never even had PEs in our primary school. So in high school, it was a little bit hard going to the field, noting that I wasn't used to that kind of a life. Either way, I really don't regret getting good grades because at the end of every term, the top 3 students per class and the top 10 students in a row would be taken to out. So I went to Mount Kenya Bottlers, I went to Village Market, I went to Mamba Village, I would go for the Nairobi shows, I'd go for the Nyeri, Kahoroine expos because every time I was among the top 10s and the top 3 in our class. So I enjoyed that part as much as I neglected going to the field, I really enjoyed. I have so many trophies in our home. I have 3. Okay, they are not so many, by the way. Ni tatu peke yake for being the best in something. I also used to go for contests in other schools. I used to go for zinaitwaje zile vitu za innovation, science congress. I used to enjoy doing such kind of things, and they really used to make me happy and to like the school more and studying more. So that was the beauty of being a bookworm. And it's not something I would advise my children or anyone who is in high school or anyone who is studying right now. Even if you're doing your professional courses, you study when the exams are near. Don't, whatever you study doesn't really matter. So study at the end of the semester if you are a college student. And most importantly, be keen when the teacher is teaching, because once you grab that concept, you don't have to take another extra time to study what was taught in class. I have to say that I used to be a science person, a business person, and a mathematician. Maths, I used to get A's. Chemistry, A. Physics, A. Biology, business, ERE. Those ones I used to get. The problem was in English and Kiswahili. I didn't get good grades in Kiswahili and English. B's, okay, hiyo bad si ati nilikuwa napata D, sijaipata D by the way kwa exam slips zangu. It was a B minus. Then when I come home, my dad is like, hey, you perform in all other courses except English and Kiswahili. You don't know how to speak English. You don't know how to speak Kiswahili. This is a shame. You need to improve next time. And then he would award me. I tell my sisters I was number 1. I tell my bro. They're like, oh, you're doing good. If you become number 1 next time, I give you 500. If you come number 2, I give you 1,000. So that one also used to increase the amount of pocket money I'm going to get when going back to school. When you join Form 1, you're supposed to do 11 subjects. But just before you get to Form 3, you narrow down to 8 subjects. Then it's at that point that you start doing set books. And so I had to choose between agriculture and business. And by the time I was getting to Form 3, the school was no longer taking 3 sciences. So I had to take 3 sciences. 2. And I had to weigh between biology and physics. I was equally good in both, because I used to get A's, only that physics, the practical bit used to stress me a little. But due to peer pressure, I ended up doing physics. And I remember at one point when I went home, my bro was asking me, are you really sure you are going to do physics? Physics is very hard. It's only done by the few geniuses. So I would advise that you take biology. But now, after taking physics, I was moved to 3W. And I felt like I don't want to do biology. I would rather settle on physics. But it messed me big time. It's one of the worst decisions I made foolishly, because practicals used to give me a hard time. But the theory bit, I was okay with it. I was okay with chemistry. And now that I couldn't do biology, I dropped it. By the way, I might look good, but deep down, I feel like I would go back to Form 2 and do biology so that I learn about safe days, I learn about reproduction, I learn about both, and I generally learn about the body. That is something I usually think I'll do one day I will. One day I'll go back to school or even study on YouTube, because it's a part I missed out. The biology, the physics never helped me. I even struggled to put up bulbs. I can't connect anything hata simu. I'm technologically bad. Siwezi fix kitu hata sijuangi how maybe radio ikiharibika, anything I can do about it, ama hata remote. So my physics really didn't help me at any given point. Na by the way, nilipata B- kwa physics in KCSE, which again messed my cluster points, but I'll talk about it at the end of the video. For set books, I did Kifo Kisimani, Mayai Waziri wa Maradhi, na Utengano. Then for the English ones, I had Shreds of Tenderness, An Enemy of the People, and River Between. Goge wa Thiong'o, Nyambura, and what was the name of that guy? I don't remember. But nilikuwa napenda set books. Sasa nilianza kufunguka English and Kiswahili in Form 3 after we started doing set books. So I enjoyed reading. I crammed the whole books to the extent that unge-quote dondoo lolote kutoka kitabu cha Utengano ama kutoka kitabu cha Mayai Waziri wa Malavi, ningekwambia nani amenukuu, ni nani alisema hayo maneno, alikuwa wapi, walikuwa wanafanya nini, ni nini ilitendeka kabla ya hilo dondoo na baada ya hilo dondoo. Hizo ndo maswali zilikuwa zinakuja na nilikuwa nachafua zote. So Kiswahili and English eventually became my favorites, and now I had to shift my focus. Physics ilianza kutukalia ngumu, especially huko mwisho wa Form 3. And me and some other friends, akina Christine Ngendo, Gladys Wanja, and Kashe, we decided now that physics is not working well for us, wacha to take another substitute. So me and Wanja did history, Kashe and Ngendo did geography. Sasa you can imagine, we dropped those subjects in Form 2. Sasa tunaenda kuingia Form 4, ndio tumefikiria to substitute our grades, we need to take an extra subject, because kuna venye, I don't even remember, Peter, history and theory, either of them, they would pick the grade you've performed better. And for me, that was again foolish, because I was doing well in theory. I was okay with the book of Luke. And so, nikaanza kusoma history. Have kujikavia book ya Form 3 yote alone. Mwalimu wa history alikuwa anaitwa Miss Kiru. Alikuwa pia ndo matlon ama ni patron wa CA. Anyway, yeah, so nikaanza tena kufanya history. So nilikuwa naifanya ndo ini substitute. Big mistake and a waste of time. Cause after tumemaliza, history was the last paper, and after tumemaliza the other subjects, we had like a whole 1 week of studying. And the bad thing is, I got a B plane. So it didn't help me in any way. Mambo yamekatilili mwenza, and I don't know World War 1 and World War 2 and the effects. Hazikunisaidia, hata si kupita. Na ni vitu si apply kwa maisha yangu for now. So I don't know even why I did it. Peer pressure ni mbaya. And again, I didn't have a mentor or someone who would tell me, do this, follow this, this is how things work. Nilikuwa tu nafanya vitu venye na feel, na out of peer pressure ya my fellow students. I missed out on a lot of things in high school, because I remember on Saturdays we had entertainment from 7 to 10 p.m. But me, I was not a fan of the entertainment session. I would go for CAs and the CU fellowships. We read the Bible, we pray. Then singing and worshiping doesn't take so long, maybe for 2 hours. Then I go back to the dormitory, or I go back to class and study. Then we had, on Sundays, 4 to 6, people would watch. Hizo times zilikuwa zinaitwa, I think, Tasker Project Fame. Then kulikuwa na Storms Over Paradise. Mi sikuwa fan wa hizo vitu. Zilikuwa zinanikalia waste of time. Na pia kutoka Dondori kucompete na watu walikuwa wametoka Nairobi, watu wanajua venye season zinaenda, ilikuwa inanikalia hard kidogo. Sijui kama nyinyi mnakuanga na ma BFFs by the way. Pale high school tulikuwa na my best friends. BFF mwenye you do things together, you study together, anakuwa mshanga, you go wash clothes together. So I had one called Vivian Mwende. She was a good friend of mine. Yeah, alikuwa ametoka rich family, ndo alikuwa anakuja na peanut shule na blue band, wakati wengine wetu tunakuja tu na blue band. Then in Form 3 she was made the dining hall prefect. So I used to have a lot of benefits now that she's the DH captain. Hata naweza kula special diet. And we fall out after KCSE. We never spoke again. We've not spoken since then. But I have a group, amazing friends from that school. I have Virginia, tunamwitanga Parks. I have Wanja, I have Karo, and I have Ngendo. We still connect, and Masishiz. Mpaka wa leo sisi ni marafiki. We get to know each other on a deeper level. Now, kila mtu ameenda jani yake. Some of us have children, others are married, others now have 2 babies. We go for baby showers. We connect over coffees, and sometimes we even go out. So it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. You can imagine we've been friends from 2011 to date. I think I should give them a shout out. Yeah. So, but venye siku enjoy ku have entertainment in high school na pia in campus, it makes me now want to party at this age. One of the moments I remember is I used to say nimetoka Rongai. I didn't know we have a Rongai in Nairobi. We have another Rongai in Nakuru. Inaitwa Ongata Rongai bado. So mwalimu wa business siku moja akaniuliza, na umetokanga wapi? Nikamwambia Rongai. Rongai gani? Ya Nakuru. Oh, I've only heard of Rongai in Nairobi. Why is that? Nikamwambia Ongata Rongai. Well, akanikacha akajua nimemdanganya. But all that was in the name of kuzuia kusema mimi nimetoka Dondori, sitaki kuonekana mimi ni mshamba. Na kuna watu pale ndo kusema. One thing I don't like about high school is the fact that in Form 2, people are made prefects. And they normally pick well-performing students. Class yetu ilikuwa ni ya machopi. So majority of the people and my friends and people we used to discuss with, walifanywa ma prefects wa dining hall, wengine ni wa dormitories, wengine ni class prefects, wengine ni wa compound. But mimi in Form 3 sikufanywa prefect. Hata in Form 4 sikufanywa prefect. You niuma because mimi nilikuwa chopi. So wale mabeshte tuko nao group moja ya discussion. This video is so long. It is hard to summarize 4 years. I'm not sure if I'll do a part 2. But I think I had the best time. I never struggled with school fees. My dad used to pay school fees full amount siku ya kufungua. Then napewa enough pocket money. Na nilikuwa nasoma na napita napewa mazawadi. So it was the best moment of my life, I think. And I performed well. I got an A-. One of these fine days I'll talk about my university journey and the courses I did. But high school was amazing. Later, the principal, Mrs. Idondeka, passed away. I hear the deputy, Mrs. Kemani, was transferred to being a principal in another school. And yeah, I only went there like when picking my results and again when picking, inaitwa good conduct. Ama ni nini? Ni nini hiyo tunapikingi tukiingia university? You pick like after 3 years. I don't remember the name. But it was amazing. I had the best time. I managed to go to a different county. And that is exactly what I wanted. Nilikuwa nataka niende mbali na kwetu. And God gave me that. Because Nyeri na Nakuru pia nika distance. Alafu, kuna vile unafika Nyeri, unapanda gari ya kwenda Othaya. Then ukifika Othaya, unapanda gari ya kwenda Geshishe. So Geshishe, hapo mbele ya Geshishe tu kidogo. Ndo kuna Chinga Dam, Chinga Boys, then Chinga Girls High School. It was the best. One of the other things I remember about high school is that on opening days, we were supposed to get to school by 4. If you don't get to school by that time, the teachers on duty will wait for you. Then you will be punished. If you come between 4 and 6, utaslash nyasi. You're going to wash the pigsty. You will clean the teacher's quarter. And the pangas were so blood, so it was a hassle. Or cleaning, or cutting glass along the compound. Because when you go home for 1 month, by the time you come back, the grass is already tall. People can't play in that field. And we were not supposed to bring snacks to school. We were only supposed to come with sugar and chocolate or coffee and Blue Band only. But funny enough, we would sneak snacks, we would sneak biscuits, we would sneak pin pops. Yeah, that's one of the things I remember. And we had a rule with my dad. By 8 a.m. nilikuwa nimewekwa gari Nakuru nikielekea Nyeri. All the time he had to escort me. And when I get to school, I was supposed to inform him I've reached school. And if I don't, the next day he has to call. So it was a rule. Even before he came to die, whenever I left home, maybe I'm going to Nairobi or I'm going somewhere, you have to say when you reach there. Just to ensure no accident happened along the way and you got to arrive safely. It's said that firstborn children are normally deputy parents because they are going to take care of their siblings. And that is a true case for me because by the time I was in primary school, my sisters had already finished Form 4s. They were already working. So they were the ones who used to come for visitings. Then they would cook me chapatis, bring me juice, bring me food, cuckoo. Hey, I miss those times. I would want to appreciate my sisters for that. They really took care of me. And now that I'm old, I hope one day they'll send me to their children's school. Because I can't pay for them for that. Nitakuwa tu ni a way of giving back and a way of saying thank you. So I really appreciate. I wish naweza waekea ma photos hapa mnione venye nilikuwa kashoti in that green uniform. Yeah, and it's been amazing. It was a nice journey. That brings me to the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed. Let me know, what is your most memorable moment in high school? Were you monolized? Did you ever strike? Were you ever sent home or suspended? Did you ever transfer schools? For me, I didn't have those bad memories. All I remember were good things. No punishment. I hear other people saying ati unaingia form 1 unaambiwa ubebe smoke kwa mkono. Those ones never happened to me. I don't know what monolization is. I just had a good life in Chinga Girls. So until next time, it's been amazing. As we said, we will have 2 videos on Thursday and on Sundays. So stay tuned for more fun stories. And until next time, adios. Bye.